all the NFL draft selection opportunities pretty clear cut? We're about 2 weeks away from that. Or are there a few guys that maybe that we're waiting on that we don't have an expected decision on?
I think for the most part, you can kind of assume what guys are going to do. I think it's, CJ Stroud, he's gone, right?
Yep.
Guys in the locker room were talking about, what a great honor it was to play with him and stuff like that. But there are certainly guys that are going to have decisions to make. Cade Stover, tight end, he can return. Luke Whippler, center, he can return. Matthew Jones was talking at media day. He went through senior day activity, the guard, and mentioned, he's still considering what he's going to do, which was a bit of a surprise. Tommy Eichenberg said he hasn't made his mind up yet. I think you can assume both DeJuan Jones, Paris Johnson put out a thing in the Players Tribune, which sounds like he's gone. Mayan Williams, in theory, could leave. Lathan Ransom could leave. I think both those guys are expected to be back. Steele Chambers, I believe, said even before the game that he's planning on coming back. So, yeah, mixed bag there of decisions to be made. And that could change some things. If Luke Whippler leaves, you're now looking at replacing your center along with what will likely be both tackles. That's going to it's going to be a tough task to do that anyway. So if you lose your center, that's a big one. Tommy Eichenberg had a great year. I think the thought is that he's going to be back after really only once. He struggled a lot last season. So I think he'd like to put another good season on film. Steele Chambers, I think the same thing. But if you lose one or two of them, then you're trying to get one new linebacker in there. So, yeah, there are certainly some questions about who will be back and who won't. And then, obviously, like I said, CJ Stroud, we know he's headed to the league. Jackson Smith and Jigba's already said he's going. And, I think those are the main guys, unless I'm missing anybody.
Pat Murphy, Bucknuts, 247 Sports. Got to get on over there. Check out Pat's work. Pat, we appreciate you stopping by, breaking things down for us because there was a lot to unpack there, and I'm sure this one will be live in the minds and hearts of Ohio State fans, at least for an offseason, if not forever, depending on what happens here in 2023.
Yeah, I wish we were talking for the sake of Buckeye fans, because I've heard from a lot of them, friends and people I don't know. I wish we were talking about what Ohio State's going to do in LA. That was a heartbreaker. I mean, even, I try and stay as neutral as possible, but, I was ready to book a flight to Los Angeles, and I'd rather be heading to Los Angeles than rainy, cold Columbus this week. So it's unfortunate, and they just came so close.
And really, regardless of what happens on Monday night, and especially if what's expected to happen, Georgia as a 13-point favorite, it's going to be another punch in the gut in regards to the not disregarding TCU in any way, but they're a 13-point underdog and probably would have been an 8 to 10-point underdog against Ohio State. So what would have been the expected outcome of a national championship? It's hard not to think that that game was played this past weekend.
Yeah. And I mean, just given the talent Ohio State had this year, I think a lot of people came into the season national championship or bust. Come close, don't get there. Ohio State, you expect every year to have the talent to get back to the college football playoff, but this was a year, a team. You did enough defensively, all this and that I think fans are going to look back. Plus, you're playing a Georgia team, while really good, wasn't the absolute elite. It wasn't the Alabama Ohio State faced in 2020. It wasn't even the Georgia team of last year, I don't think. So a potentially missed opportunity here to bring another national championship home for sure. And, that again, I've talked to so many Buckeye fans that have just been like, that's what sucks the most is, you kick that field goal, you get a stop, whatever it may be, you're probably, dancing on the stage in Los Angeles in a week and a half or whatever it is.